I demand to see the manager. Quote, in the early 90s I was made redundant from a large telecom company with a very generous payout. This allowed my wife and I to buy a florist shop. She was a trained florist, which has staff including a manager. I got another job in IT but used to help out in the shop on Saturdays as I enjoyed the work. One Saturday afternoon just before closing time, an irate man came in complaining his flowers had been delivered late for his wife's birthday. I was the only one in the shop. The other two staff were busy out the back cleaning up and getting ready to close. I found the order and it had a note on it saying, "Deliver after 10 a.m. It had been delivered at 11:10. I told him that it mal quite reasonable that we had delivered it then as it was after 10 and no other stipulation had been made. So I felt his complaint was unjustified. He got quite aggressive and demanded to see the manager. So grinning to myself I went out the back and got her. Staying out back myself to assist with clearing up. I could hear the guy trying to demand a refund. My manager told him it would have to be authorized by the owner. His face was a picture when she called me and I came back out. I used to work in a small hardware store. Once in a while, usually on a Sunday, some customer would have a problem with their account. If we could not fix it, which was most of the time, they would throw a hissy fit and demand we call the owner and have him come in on his only day off and fix it. My general response was either, "Would you like to be called in like that at your job?" or, "If he comes in, you won't have an account to fix anymore." Never failed. I have legit done a 360 when people asked for the manager and been like, "How can I help you?" Once had a customer demand to see the manager and just pointed them to the customer service desk. I'm not personal servant nor invested in personally tracking down and escorting my busy manager. Straight to you. You have a complaint, you can go through the proper channels. Never heard anything back of it, so I'm guessing it wasn't as big a deal as she'd made it out to be. Casino services their machines around 4 a.m. and I set a stacker box down next to her machine and spooked her. Said I was too loud. I just opened a retail store and I'm so looking forward to doing this at some point. I had my own business for a few years and once in a while would have a customer blow up like that. I remember once a guy came in complaining about his bill and he was telling my wife what was wrong. I was in the back of the store and heard everything. He talked to her for a couple minutes. Saw he wasn't getting anywhere and asked to talk to the person that did the billing, which was my wife. So she says, "You were talking to her." Then he asked to talk to the manager and my wife calls me up front and I go through the whole deal and remind him of our phone call about the price before the job was done. He sees he isn't getting anywhere with me and demands to talk to the owner. You were talking to him. He stood there, all red-faced, for what felt like a minute, paid the bill and left. Funny thing was he continued to be a customer and a decent one at that and no more complaints. Florist here. I don't think people realize how often we have to deal with people like this. Or how entitled the customers are. I've had people banging and pulling on the door like they would die if they didn't get in when we were closed. I've had people get irate because we couldn't source affordable peonies in August, demands for 6/7 am. Deliveries when we open at 9. Etc. etc. I commend you for your service, lol. I would have totally walked back out and pretended to have forgotten the first contact. My manager said you needed to speak with me. What seems to be the problem here? Quote, the one manager I enjoyed working for in my life wouldn't want to talk to anyone, so if they demanded to speak to him about some bees he would leave them on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. Otherwise I would send them to his voicemail. If they held that long he would legit be impressed and talk with them. I liked the guy. First time in a job I felt respected. My work gives us name badges to go on lanyards. But they're handwritten. So people tend to think we're bullshitting when they see them. So I scanned one and used it to make professional-looking badges for each of my people. It tends to slow down the complaints a little more. Before reading this, I figured the husband got the date of her birthday wrong and to save face felt he had to put up a stink, lest his inconsiderate error be placed on him. The actual reason seems to have the same amount of justification. Wasn't your wife the owner also? This made my sides hurt. Busted a gut. Ha. Lol funny. You told him to go fuck himself, right?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.